We get to watch regular season baseball this month. The Chicago Cubs found themselves in the NLDS phase of the postseason last year and were a game away from the Final Four. Here are 5 stats the Northsiders need to nail if they want to get back to that stage or even a little further. For starters, stolen bases. In 2026, it's ultra important to be a bandit on the bases. I say that because baseball's rules and regulations favor base stealers now more than ever before. Not only do pitchers have a clock they have to worry about, not only do they run the risk of balking if they don't get set or make the right intentional movement towards a base or home, but they've got disengagement limits recently installed. Additionally, for the Cubs, it's important for them to capitalize on a stat that they excelled in last year. Pete Crow-Armstrong, Nico Hoerner, and Dansby Swanson all had at least 20 stolen bases in 2025. The only member of their top 4 to leave was Kyle Tucker. But this is who the Cubs were and are. They sat behind only the Tampa Bay Rays and division rivals in the Milwaukee Brewers in total stolen bases for last season. That needs to be a part of the game plan again. Next stat is home runs allowed. This isn't just a Shota Imanaga issue, although giving up the long ball is something in his scouting report. It's something he's struggled with. But it's an aspect the Cubs struggled with as a whole. Chicago was one of just 8 teams to give up at least 200 long balls in the 2025 season. Being able to hold their opposition's slugging percentage down a bit more and just keeping the ball in the ballpark will be a recipe for success for a pitching staff that's still searching for their true ace as we speak. Walks is up next. This is back on the offensive end, but candidly, this is a stat I'd put on the list for every single Major League Baseball team this year specifically. Why? We go back to the ABS system. It demands a key eye from everyone. If hitters know what to lay off of or even what to challenge and in what scenarios, it's going to bode well for those free passes. Walks in general can be an irritant, a true thorn in the side for opposing teams too. They're running the pitch count up. They're a catalyst for burning through another squad's bullpen. And if the opposing team is out of challenges, walks can again stack up with that frustration. Left on base, LOB. That's our next stat. Back to something the Cubs struggled with, and that is runners they left on base last year. Dansby Swanson is one of the guilty parties here. In fact, at one point in June, Swanson had the worst batting average with runners in scoring position of anybody in Major League Baseball who had at least 75 appearances. He was hitting 141 at that point in June. The Cubs as a unit were in the top half of the league when it came to runners left on base, and I think it comes down to situational awareness at the plate. Swanson enjoyed some of the best power numbers of his career last year, but he struck out a lot too. The root of PCA's struggles down the stretch last year were his strikeouts. Here's the thing. Sometimes ball in play, even if it is a productive out, is all you need to get those runners home. I'd like to see some of these players channel their inner Anthony Rizzo a little bit more. What do I mean by that? Choke up on the bat with 2 strikes. Slap the ball into the outfield instead of trying to clear the bleachers and put one onto Waveland with every swing. So I think it's important to really focus on situational hitting, hopefully cut that LOB number down in 2026. Lastly, mitigating errors this season will be crucial. The 2025 ball club was one of the best in baseball when it came to that stat. And upon speaking to Buster Olney recently, Jed Hoyer said this team prides itself on playing clean, mistake-free baseball. Look no further than their wild card series win versus the Padres to see what he means. We may see some shifting in the outfield soon with Ian Happ and Seiya Suzuki's contracts nearing their end and Matt Shaw shifting into the mix. It's important that whoever is out there continues to play that same clean, fundamentally sound brand of baseball that Hoyer just talked about. If you enjoy videos like this, make sure you leave a like, make sure you subscribe, and we will catch you in the next one.